So Thomas Tuchel is open to taking the England job. This is quite interesting because obviously we can look at Thomas Tuchel and what he's done in cup tournaments or draws, whatever you want to call it. Thomas Tuchel is one of the best managers out there when it comes to any competition outside the league. Now, again, you could argue Carlo Ancelotti is probably the best when it comes to the style and tournaments and along those lines, but really, Thomas Tuchel, just at Chelsea, we saw him make multiple finals, FA, League, Champions League, Cup, World Cup, just to name a few in a very short stint, which again, for any manager is difficult to do in multiple seasons, yet he did in such a short time. On top of that, he took PSG to the finals in the Champions League, which no manager has ever done, and they came just short to winning it. That being said, obviously Gareth Southgate will still be managing England when it comes to the World Cup in Qatar 2022. But still, it seems like writing is on the wall for this manager. He's even come out saying that his reign is most likely going to be over after the World Cup. The only thing, the way that he would keep that is if he obviously won the World Cup. But right now, England are not close to being any of the favorites, and there's been a lot of talks about getting rid of him. Obviously, it's way too close to the World Cup. That's not going to happen, and Thomas Tuchel could definitely be one of the best managers to fit that role. Now, obviously, once this comes out after the World Cup, there's probably going to be other managers out there, but I think Thomas Tuchel might be on the top of that list. Now, he might be coming out and saying that because I'm sure there's other clubs that have come out and asked for him to come coach. Bournemouth, Wolves, just being two clubs at the current position in Premier League. I'm sure there's Bundesliga teams reaching out to him, possibly La Liga. And for him to say, I'm going to wait for international management, really just kind of pushes that all down. Now, again, that being said, whether he actually wants to manage England or not, that will be up for debate. But obviously, he knows some of these players since there's a lot of Chelsea players in the England squad. Reece James, Mason Mount, Raheem Sterling, Ben Chilwell possibly, and the list could go on and on depending on who all makes the list later down in the years for England. But still, Thomas Tuchel could actually be a very good manager at this. Now, I know the way things ended at Chelsea probably weren't the best ways for the manager and the club itself, but what we saw when he first came in to this club, one of the best defenses in the Champions League when we won it. I can't remember the exact goal amount we gave up. I want to say it was like around 13 in the entire competition, which again, when it comes to any tournaments, whether it's going to be the Euros or the World Cup, not giving up many goals is going to get teams very far in a tournament. We've seen Greece do it, that barely let any goals and barely score any goals. It's when your defense is rock solid. And Thomas Tuchel, for the most part, knows how to have a rock-solid defense. Now, whether, again, he's able to implement that into England right off the bat, if he does come into this managerial position, it's hard to say. Most likely, we'd probably stick with the 5 in the back, but again, there's so many options for the England defense that he would have just the picking for players that he would want to pick. Now, again, this would be a little bit more difficult because he's not seeing players on a day-to-day basis like he was at Chelsea or at PSG or at Dortmund. He'd be seeing them pretty much from the stand, watching them play for their club. And again, it gets a little more difficult to implement all these players into his tactics, but still, this could be a very interesting opportunity for England and for Thomas Tuchel. Now, again, like I said, this is not going to happen before the World Cup. This would definitely be after, but I'm very curious to see if Thomas Tuchel does hold out for the England spot. Now, again, there are other managers that are out there that are possibly trying to take this position as well. Poach, I think, is out there right now, possibly waiting for a managerial position for a national team, but still, there is going to be a list of managers after Gareth Southgate is let go from England, again, unless they win the World Cup, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. So I want to know what you guys think. Would Thomas Tuchel be a good fit for England? Do you think he could actually work into their system and actually get them to a final? Even though I know Gareth Southgate did that for the Euros, but I think Thomas Tuchel can get past that last hurdle to actually win a tournament. So comment down below what you think about Thomas Tuchel, Gareth Southgate, or any manager out there. I want to know what you guys think. So that is it. And if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe down below. I greatly appreciate that. It helps get this video to more and more fans such as yourself. And that is it. And I will see you next time.